Are you an entrepreneur, creative person, or in a transition to becoming one? You've come to the right place. Welcome to the Success You podcast, where it's all about educating and motivating you with simple and easy to implement ideas. And of course, helping you create something amazing today. And now your host. She's a best-selling author, public speaker, and her deepest regret is not investing in Berkshire Hathaway when she had the chance. Susan R. Kiley.
Experience I've ever had, just because how silent it gets. I'm sure it shits you after a couple of months of it. You're like, oh, yes, no. But, just the idea of it is still very magical and ethereal.
Yeah, no, it's good. So you'll hear like the snow guy just went by once. He'll be going by the next way next. So it'll get really loud and my house will shake. It'll go.
The peaceful bliss of snow days.
Exactly. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, we went out earlier. So my littlest guy was out there and he was doing it. I'm like, okay, he's struggling. So then I went out and then my other son went out just to try to get like the first layer off.
Oh my goodness.
And I said, as soon as I'm done with the podcast interview with you, then I said, we'll go back out and do it for the second time, but we'll have to do it at least probably 2 or 3 more times.
Oh my goodness. Where do you live?
I live in Nebraska. So I'm on the corner of Nebraska and Iowa. So,
whoa.
So it's Monday here and it's Tuesday for you.
Yes, it is Tuesday. Yes, we are still on school holidays. So I'm like, what day? I don't even know what day it is, but tomorrow's school starts back. So then I'll actually have to know what days.
Yeah. No, we have a snow day today.
Oh, yeah, right. So you guys, because we always have really long summer breaks. We've had 2 months off now, but you guys only get a short time over Christmas.
Yes, and then we'll get off again, in the summertime. So we'll be off of June, July, half of August. And the only reason why is because it gets too hot that they can't keep the schools cooled down enough.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fair play.
It's pretty cool. So
yeah, I mean. Yeah, Australia's kind of the same. 2 months off of summer because we're all like, oh my God, going out.
Exactly. So I'm going to open my door super quick. I want to show you what my daughter does because I think you can relate to this. Don't mind because from the bottom down, I got my sweats on, so don't mind that.
Oh, yes. When do I ever not have that? Oh my goodness, that is so toot.
It says good vibes only.
Oh my goodness, that is gorgeous.
Her room is just filled with all sorts of cool stuff that she does. So I thought you would enjoy that.
Oh my, how old is she?
She is 15.
Oh, so talented. Oh, so cute. What's it like having teens?
No. Sorry. No, you know what? Actually, I'm very, very fortunate because I coach club volleyball and those kids, I literally want to wring their necks. However, my kids are, for the most part, they're really good. Oh, I went through a yucky divorce. And so they've been really, really good about that. And so, I've always had clear expectations. I've always been very open and honest with them and I don't hide stuff from them. I just, this is me. And so they've always been absolutely excellent. And there's days that, when we were put into quarantine for 30 days because we had it, like that, I was ready to but other than that.
Yeah. The neck wringing is at a bare minimum.
Exactly. But for the most part, they're good. My daughter is driving. My son will be driving soon. And then my little guy, he's 12. So he's not obviously driving yet, but we're just so involved. Yesterday, we spent all day at basketball. And so, yeah, we're pretty busy.
Wow. Yeah. And do you have to be there when he's at basketball all day?
Yeah. So, yeah.
How do you cope with that? Honestly, it is one of my worst fears that my children suddenly become sporty.
So my partner, his kids are not sporty at all. We're very sporty. And so there's times when we have to juggle soccer, basketball, soccer, volleyball, soccer, running, we have all this stuff that we're trying to do. The summers were kind of like, just kind of like piss it all off. We're like, nothing. We just get to be now with the snow, we want to go snowboarding. We want to go sledding. We want to go
Whoa. Of course.
I'm just very active. Leonie, last year 1 year ago, January, I had major shoulder and bicep surgery because of volleyball.
Oh my goodness.
And so I went through therapy through the pandemic for 9 months. And so I'm excited to be back out there. I'm excited to be doing stuff again. So it's kind of in my blood. So I'm okay. There are days though that I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do all this. But now that my daughter can drive, she's a godsend because I can just say, hey, will you go take him to practice? Or, hey, will you go do this? And I'm not trying to do it all.
That's great.
Yeah.
I guess I think in order to survive, watching them play any kind of sport for extended periods of time, I think I'd have to make myself a little activity pack. That's how I would get through that. I have my journals and my books, and I need all of my writing supplies, my drawing supplies, and all of the different things. Just my little kid activity pack for mum, because mum gets bored super easily.
Yes, and that's what I do. I'll take my Kindle White, or I'll take my phone, or obviously I'm a writer too and a journaler, and I have my recording on my phone so I can make quick little podcasts or whatever. And so that's what I love about you, because I remember when you were doing the car podcast episodes, like, Mom on the way in the car, this is what you're going to get from me.
Doing school run, entrepreneur in the car doing school run.
I loved it, Leonie. It was perfect. And this is what I love, Leonie, is that I have started recording, just to let you know, because I haven't done the official, but I know that you don't like to be categorized either. So that's the part that I love, is that when you came out, because I think before you were kind of categorized, but then you kind of came out and you were like, you know what? Leonie Dawson doesn't like to be categorized. I'm like, oh, that is a woman after my heart, because I'm completely like that. I hate when people try to put me into a box. It doesn't work. I can't work within those confines. And when you started doing that and started saying that, I'm like, oh, thank gosh.
I've always so struggled. It's been 17 years now having a business, and I've brought in over $10 million in revenue, and I still don't have a fucking elevator pitch. When people are like, you have to know your elevator pitch. You have to tell someone what you do in 10 seconds. And I'm like, no. I just like to talk about shit. And then sometimes when I get really into it, then I'll teach shit. And I'm just an idiot online, and I have a lot of fun, and that's about it. So that's my elevator pitch.
It's okay. So I love that you hate to be categorized. So what's your origin story? Leonie, go back. Tell me, go back to your origin story. Because I know you've had such a journey. And I remember listening, and I was in awe that you had a big team, and then you're just out.
It's true.
And now you have Zeta.
I do. Exactly. I got one part-time assistant. No, it was amazing. So, for me, my origin is I was a very creative kid and wanted to be an artist or a writer or somebody who changes the world. That was kind of my goal at 4. Mm-hmm. And my parents were cattle farmers. And so they were like, no, you can't do that. You can't have a business because all businesses fail in the first 5 years. And you can't have a creative career because everyone starves if they're an artist, and you shouldn't earn over the highest tax bracket, because then you're just paying too much tax and it's not worth it. And so I kind of dutifully followed their advice and was like, well, if I can't do the thing that I really want to do in life, then I'm going to have to go with my second best option, and that is to be Prime Minister of Australia. And so I know.
Prime Minister of Australia?
Well, so I moved to Canberra, which is the Washington, D.C. of Australia, and I started doing a public policy degree at Australian National University. I worked at Parliament House. I worked in the Secretary's office of a major government department, and very rapidly, got 4 promotions in 4 years, and people were saying to say to me, oh, like you're,
Right.
give you 15 years and you'll be running this department. And I was like, cool. Well, I'm on the road to accomplishing what I want. But, within a few years, I think I was maybe 23 at that point, I was like, this isn't really like my jam. This is like, like I could do it, but it's not really going to be what I want in my life. And so I kind of I felt like I had to come out to my parents. And I remember flying home to my small hometown, and my farmer dad picked me up, and I said, Dad, I need to tell you something in the airport, because I just couldn't keep it anymore. And he said, what? Because he grunted at that time. That was mostly how he communicated. And I said, well, I've decided something really important. I've decided I actually am going to be an artist. And he said, well, artists don't make much money. And I said, yes, but you're a farmer and farmers don't make much money, and your father was a farmer and also didn't make much money. So I guess I just come from a long line of dreamers. And so I'm going to have to follow that dream. And he said, oh, you think you're funny, don't you? And I said, I really do. Like that whole, like the line about the long line of dreamers, because you guys are farmers and don't make money. Like, that's amazing. Like, I thought myself.
You're going to do it.
Like, record me. That was exceptional. And so that was it from there. I just was like, well, I'm going to go full focus on building a creative career now. And I kept my government job and had a rip-roaring time there, just created fun wherever I went, and built up my business on the side and just explored and played and tried out all these different ways that I could make money. So I sold art prints on Etsy. I made like original custom commission artworks where people would fill in questionnaires, and then I would do these kind of stylized goddess portraits of them. And then I would do like live retreats, like kind of spiritual kind of retreats. And then I would do creativity workshops, and I did like life coaching, and I did oracle card readings, and I just tried and played all these different things. I went to art markets, and eventually where I worked out was like a really easy fit for me to like create, and that would be able to create the money that I wanted, was in doing e-courses. So I did creative e-courses, and I did, I think I even did decluttering e-courses, and anything I was passionate about, I created an e-course about it. And then that kind of ended up becoming like the major stay of the business. So yeah, it's been a long ass time now, but my husband and I have been kind of full time. Well, we haven't worked outside of the business for 11 years now. It's brought in over $10 million in revenue. I still only work about 10 hours a week because I've always been really mindful about, I don't want to take too much of my time. I just want to be a mum. And I've gone through that process. Like the business grew so much, and I had a really large team of like 25 staff or whatever. I hated it. I was never born to be a manager, and all I want to do in my business is just lock myself away in this little turquoise office and I just want to create. Mm-hmm. And when you're a manager, you have to like spend a lot of time in meetings and managing what other people are doing and hearing like all of their personal dramas. And as somebody with autism, I'm like, no, I don't like it. So I've got one part-time assistant, and that just works beautifully for me.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, we're like less, like I earn more profit now than I did with 25 staff.
Oh, absolutely. And the biggest thing you never mentioned is that you have these incredible workbooks and planners. Like,
oh yeah, that too.
Those two. You just released your 2021 Goal Getter workbook and planner. Like that. And I remember you, Leonie, that's where I first met you, as through planners. And then it was your other courses, but the last course was 2019. You're like, how to finish your book in 40 days.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And that one too. But yeah.
I create like 5 courses a year. So it's just like, there's just stuff coming out all the time.
Yeah. No, and I think it's incredible. So when the pandemic happened, like how does creative people like yourself build businesses and continue to be very successful? Like, how do you do it?
The same way I've always done it.
Yeah.
Just create and share online. Like my husband jokes that it's like I've been creating a pandemic-proof business all along because I don't leave the house. I use the internet, online learning, which people have only finally just fucking discovered in the last year. It's tickety boo. Like I've been using Zoom for years. It's like I don't go to conferences. I don't network in person. I don't do any of that shit. Ew. I like to stay at home. So pandemic was a great experience.
We're like, yay!
The rest of the world is doing what I do just naturally.
Exactly. And I think that's important. I mean, I think that's, so like thinking about that, like what is your greatest flaw that has become your greatest asset?
Oh, I don't think I've got flaws. I think I'm just magnificent.
Absolutely. I agree. But let's try to think of one.
Yeah, sure. I mean, so like, I think like if you look at a weakness front, like it is probably just that I get absolutely maxed out very, very quickly on social interactions.
Yeah.
And so for me, that means when I've built businesses is that I can't be kind of out in the world doing much. I can't be doing, I'm not somebody who's going to be like one of those public speakers that travels all the time. That's just going to fucking kill me.
Yeah.
So finding ways to teach, but without it requiring much energy and much interaction time has been critical for me. And that's actually worked out really beautifully because, it means I've brought in over $10 million in revenue. I only work 10 hours a week. I've been able to help thousands and thousands of people for really low prices. Like I don't charge huge amounts for my courses because I don't want people to have to go into massive credit card debt. And if people need one of my courses, I want them just to go, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll buy that course. Like that's an easy yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that our time is coming to an end. So like, how can people like get a hold of you and work with you and find like, what is the one place that you want people to connect with you the most?
Oh, of course. So like, fuck social media. Social media is the worst place to get to know somebody. You'll like go click like on me and then
you mean
never
like
hear from me again. Yeah, right. I'm just like, oh, hang on. Wait. If I'm on social media, just like, is that how we're supposed to? Is that like how are we supposed to show our ass and our face at the same time?
I think it's because of our age. I'm older than you, I think, Leonie. I think I'm way older than you. And so I don't get it either.
For me, it's like, I'm like, cool, do whatever you want, but I don't create in my best way on social media. And I also don't feel like I receive people's most amount of juice and the wisdom that they teach through their social media either. So the very best way for you to connect with me and go on this beautiful journey with me is go to leoniedawson.com, sign up for my free love letters, and I will send you free shit every single week. And you can also go to my page, free shit, and just like see a whole bunch of the free shit I've given away. And you can grab those as well. And that's the very best way that we can kind of deepen this connection together.
Yes. And definitely listen to the podcast. I tell you what, that podcast was amazing. Like, we were talking before I hit record, you're doing the whole in the car. That was so raw and real and just so that was absolutely incredible. I mean, I loved when you were in the car on the way, taking your kid, and this is Leonie Dawson. So it was great.
Yeah, it's like the only time that I can record podcasts often. Like, well, I mean, I could make time otherwise, but I'm like, whatever. I can just talk shit while I go drive to school to go pick the kids up because it's 25 minutes in the car. And like, I just shove like my phone down my overalls and just talk shit as I drive. And because I also have an ADHD brain, my brain actually works so much better if I've got two functions going at once. So if I'm driving, I absolutely need to be talking or listening to an audiobook, because just the task of driving is so boring to my brain.
I bet. So what does 2021 have in store for Leonie Dawson?
Cool. I actually like my husband. I call him Dorsey. So I love that you're just going to call me Dorsey now too.
I'll call you Dorsey.
Mostly what's in store is just creating and sharing. That's my main focus this year. I don't want to have like very strict goals of what I want to create. And instead, I just want to allow it to flow through me and just enjoy that creative experience. I love when ideas just kind of jump on me and then I run with it. And then like a couple of days later, it's out in the world and my assistant won't even know. And she'll just get the email with everybody else and go, oh, okay, Leonie's just launched something. Great. Cool.
I think that's great. I love it. I have some of your little free stuff and just different books like that. And I just love them because you can just see the process that's like going in your brain and like you're putting it down. And I was telling my daughter about the one book. It was, like when your child in their diaper sat on the piece of paper and you were like,
oh yeah,
this would be a
wild dog. Yes, the Wild Donkey Guide to getting stuff done.
Yes, that's what it's called.
Yes, oh my God, that is absolutely one of my favorite things I've ever created. And it's kind of a magical disaster because I had a 1-year-old at the time and I really wanted to create and she was just into everything, of course, 1-year-olds. And I thought, fuck it, I'm just going to have to do it with her because I get no time away from this child. This child screams when she's away from me. And so I was like, right, well, let's just make it together. And the dogs were like walking all over the artworks and the kids like eating shit. And so when I scanned it all in, you can see the marks of life through it, the dogs and the child eating stuff and putting its ass on everything. And it's just exquisite. I love that it's got the mark of life through it.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the most important things that I could take away from you is that you're so real, so authentic, and that you're in the moment. Like, you know what I mean? Like you're completely in the moment when you do things. And those are the people that you attract, people who want to live in the moment, not the people that are living in the past or trying to be so far in the future, but just those in the moment. Like that's raw, that's real, that's your life.
I love that. Thank you for that affirmation. That just inspires me to create even more random, crazy shit.
But that's true, Leonie. I mean, like, think about it. Like, I think when we go back to social media, everybody's trying to be picture perfect and stuff. And, I was told by big mastermind people and stuff, they're like, oh, you have to do this and this, and nobody will ever follow you. And I'm like, you know what? That's okay. Those aren't my people. My people are the people that I'm able to be just authentic in who I am. I'm 46 years old. I don't have time for that nonsense. I just don't have time for it. And so, I mean, that's just me. And I like people, like I said to you, when you said, this is Leonie Dawson, and I don't want to be categorized, refuses to be categorized. I absolutely love that because you don't want to be put into a box, and neither does so many people. So I think that is the beautiful thing about you.
Well, it's true. And it's like, when I make like Instagram videos or whatever, I was thinking at some point last year, I thought, like people usually have a nice set, the fucking hair done and shit for these videos. And that just, not into it. And then I thought, what would amuse me? What would make it really fun? And I thought, what we could do? We could just buy a whole bunch of crazy hats and just wear them.
I love those. I loved when you did those. I loved it. It was crazy and wacky and weird. And you did it like every day. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is awesome. I saw those.
It was just really fun. funny. And then also, like, I sometimes enjoy like not pretending like there's nothing different about me, even when I'm wearing like a rainbow wig and a Mardi Gras cap. And
or those
like,
things like that.
Yeah, just pretend like there's nothing happening here. Just a professional at work.
Oh, I love it, Leonie. Like, I can't even thank you just for being you. I mean,
Oh, my love.
I'm telling you, and the good things that you do, because I'm about ready to sign off with you because I know that you have a busy day. But the one thing that I absolutely loved is that your Goal Getter workbook is that you give to so many great causes into nonprofits and stuff. And that's the one thing that I think people need to realize is that you're like a humanitarian. I mean, you do good things. It's just not about the $10 million that you've made or whatever. You're literally giving back to people so that way they can change the world as well.
Well, it kind of ends up being more fun that way. And so like, I like to make sure that I'm creating win-win-wins wherever like we make anything. So, sure, it'll be a win for our customers. Hooray. It'll be a win for our business. Yay. But then like, how can we like just benefit just a third party? And so that's through like, currently our major charity partner is Australian Wildlife Conservancy, because I think that's a really important part of the fight against climate change. And so what they do, not climate change, climate crisis, just to really indicate the seriousness of the matter. And so what they do is they buy up land around Australia and preserve it for wildlife and for that particular ecosystem. And I think that's critical. And so that gives me an extra level of purpose. And then with the workbooks and the planners, we give them away every year to nonprofits as well. So when you're a nonprofit dealing with any kind of client, we're happy just to give you the digital copies of the workbooks so that you can use them with the clients. And people have been using those with the clients for 10 years now, and we get the most beautiful emails. Like one beautiful soul who was an at-risk teen who was given the workbooks, and for the very first time in her life felt like she was being asked, what is it that you want in your life? And she realized that she was in an art therapy program through this organization, and she realized, oh, this is actually what I want to do. I want to teach this. And within 5 years, she was the lead and the facilitator of it. She emailed us in just to say,
I got goosebumps for that one.
I know. It makes me cry. And I just think that's why. Anytime I get these emails from beautiful humans who have changed their lives and realized their magnificence and their power, that's what lights me up. That's what makes me turn up every day. It's just so exciting.
Yeah. And I think the world needs more of that. And so I am very, 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 very appreciative, Leonie, for you popping in on my snowy day, but on your gorgeous, beautiful Australian day.
I'll show you you showed me your whiteness outside the window. So I'll show you. Hopefully you can see out there.
Oh, yes. I will take it any day.
It's the Sunshine Coast.
I guess we could have said, well, you showed me yours. Now let me show you mine.
That's right. Da, 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 da.
A little censorship. Beep.
The view out my window.
Exactly. Mine. You're like, I don't see it. It's all white. I'm like, yep, that's my view.
That's what snow is, Leonie. That's how snow works.
We don't see nothing. It's like a white out. It's awesome. Leonie, thank you so much.
Bless you, beautiful human.
It means the world to me, like you don't understand, because I have followed you and watched you and taken your courses and everything for years. And you were a huge, huge, big ask of mine to have you on. And so I just want to say thank you. It means a lot that me, this little girl over in Nebraska and Iowa, can actually communicate and talk with someone that's changing the world.
Oh, my love. Bless you. Thank you. And it's been a real joy that I get to connect with you and meet you one-on-one at large. always when like I meet fans and readers and clients and they're like, I have followed you for so long. And I was like, I know I'm late to the party, but I'm here now and we're mates now. Like I know I've got to catch up on your story. But I know that we'll be friends already. And actually one of my dearest, closest friends is somebody who turned up at a fan meetup. She sat down across the table from me and she's like, hello, I've loved you for years. And I was like, well, I'm late to the party. I do apologize, but I love you now also.
Oh, but that's what Success You, the podcast, my YouTube and everything's about. It's about being you, and success isn't about the money. $10 million is great, right? I mean, it's great. However,
no bigs.
It's about the little successes. It's about changing the life of a young girl. It's about doing good for climate. It's about doing good for the land. It's about making a difference in somebody's life. That's the success, and just showing up and just being here. And that to me is what success is about. It's not about the money or the social media likes or anything like that. It's just connecting with real people and sharing their stories.
It is. It's the best. And the best part is that like when I do meet readers and people in person, it's just like such a easy way to make friends, honestly, because I'm like, oh, you like me? Cool. You're a cool person.
And you wrote your first nonfiction book, or your first fiction book. I read it.
Erotic. No,
it was. I was like, yes.
Bow, chicky bow, bow.
I know. And that was a huge milestone for you because it's something that you've always wanted to do. And so you did it. You're like, I did it. I think you did it in like 3 days or 5 days or something like that. It was so short, the amount of time that you did it. I downloaded it as a Kindle. So I read it. I was like, good for you.
Oh, it was so fun. And I was just so proud of myself for giving that gift. Like, even though, I don't usually create romantic.
Hey, me neither.
Oh, hello. Tell Auntie Leonie everything. Excuse me. I run.
No, I used to write under a pen name, and then I finally just said, I'm done writing under a pen name. I'm just going to put my name on them and be done. So anyways, I just wanted to say that you can be everything. And I think hiding,
all of the things.
I think hiding is crazy. I think if you put so much time and effort into it, why hide behind a pen name? Why hide behind something you don't want people to know you about? Just, you have such a talent. Go out there and just show the world.
It's true. I would like to say, when I said, excuse me while I run, that was to Amazon to order the fuck right now. Not like run away. It was more like run towards the book.
Yeah. Well, anyways. So anywho, but yeah. So good for you on that. And I don't want to keep you, Leonie. I mean, I know that you're busy and you want to be a mom and enjoy the beautiful weather. I need to go shovel, but
you've got some white out to
I got a lot of snow to move.
We've got the opposite problem. We have grass that's like, it's greenhouse conditions at the moment because it's hot and it's humid and it's a lot of rain. And so the grass is just growing every single fucking day. Australia. And this was before COVID even hit,
Oh, yuck. Bats are gross. Bats are really gross. They stink and they smell.
So like I was dry retching the whole way home under this kilometer-long swarm of bats. It was so
does that usually happen? Or, do you know why that happens? I've never...
I think there is quite a large colony like where we were, because we're in a kind of a huge ecosystem of stuff. But I've never seen a swarm that large before. So I don't know why.
Yuck.
But the best part is we're in a very like tourist place. So like all of the southerners from like southern cities, nice southern cities, would have come up, and they would have been like along the beachfront, along the river, and they would have been like, oh, how wonderful, our summer holiday. And then they looked up and
and everybody's like flirting and running and screaming. That would have been so much better.
I know. Like it just sort of thrills me a little bit when shit gets a bit real, like it's disgusting, but then I'm excited too.
Everybody in their posh little things. Bitch!
I know, and then nice holiday outfits, having a lovely dinner on the river because it's quite a posh tourist place, and then these
thousands of millions of bats everywhere. That's awesome.
Yeah, like it can be a posh place, but it is still Queensland, mate. We have shit that will fuck you up.
Exactly. That's awesome. Oh, Leonie, thank you, my dear. I'm so sorry. I took up more of your time.
No, I took up more time because I had stories to tell, my love. And I didn't
love your stories.
I had a call before this, but I don't have a call after this, so I don't have to do it at the 30-minute mark, and just be like, did you wind up? Yeah. Next call.
No, that's great, Leonie. Thank you, my dear. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Enjoy your snow, and may it be a pleasantly headless rabbit free zone. That is my fondest wish for you.
Well, thank you. You're the weirdest thing I've ever wished someone is not to have any more headless rabbits in their yard.
It is. You know what it could do though? It could just start dropping their heads.
Oh.
And then you have to put them back together like jigsaw.
Oh, my son goes, Mom, I think there's weird stuff happening. Because it was rigor mortis dead. I mean, because it's super cold here. And so
oh my God.
There's no head. And then it's just rock solid hard, the first one, but the one in the backyard, it was fresh. That thing was fresh and warm. It was so
good.
And I'm and I have nowhere to put it. I don't know where to put it because, my other neighbors around, they're kind of close. I can't throw it in their yard because then it'll just bring it back over here, whatever it was. I don't know if it was an owl or an eagle because we have a lot of bald eagles. And so I don't know what it was. All I know is I saw the wingspan, it flapped and then it went away and it was still dark. My lights hadn't come on yet. And so I was like, oh, whatever it is. But, yeah, no, thank you.
What are you going to do with this? You're just going to have this little headless bunny graveyard.
I know. So every now before I let my dog out in the morning, I have to make sure the light flicks on first. And then I got to scan the yard for anything that's out there.
The headless rabbit.
Oh,
just the usual, babes. What are you doing, dog? Just looking for headless rabbits.
That's my new job title, right?
Psycho, but that's what real life, isn't it? You just keep going, oh, this has happened to me. Cool. I'll tick that off my list. Yeah.
That's on my bucket list. Thanks, Leonie.
Yeah. Life experiences bucket list.
Oh, no, thank you. So
yeah. Keep me updated.
Well, yeah. I won't send you the pictures because they're not pretty, but
make sure you write a vivid description so I can chuckle to myself.
I will. Yeah. I don't want to send your Zita's going to be like, Leonie, there's crazy woman setting weird stuff.
Oh, no, she is used to this. So my darling dad, I love him. I call him the wild bushman.
That's it for this episode of Success You. But wait, there's more. For blogs, transcripts, and other free resources, visit SusanRKiley.com. You can also search for Susan R. Kiley on YouTube and social media for even more great content. Oh, and Susan would greatly appreciate a 5-star rating and review. It sure would mean a lot. Success You is produced by Susan R. Kiley